Welcome to Stop Fighting with Your Son podcast. I'm Natalia Schneimler, and I'm here to teach you how to finally stop fighting with him and love him like crazy. Because we all want to love our boys, and I am here to help you. Listen up and find out how.
Hey guys, how are you? Please excuse the noise if you hear any banging. We're having some plumbing work done in the house, and of course, I work from home. So, a special treat for you if you hear any banging, that will be the plumbers. Anyway, it's been super warm here in Calgary, so I've been just taking extra super long walks outside, enjoying the summer weather again in November. We've hit a record high, and it's been awesome. So, today I want to talk to you about this idea that we all have about going backwards or regressing. For example, when you have kids and they have sleep regression, you're like, oh, they're waking up at night again, right? We call it sleep regression. They're regressing. And I want to talk about that in terms of relationships and how that's a total myth. And it's a myth even when you apply it to sleep. And here's why. The way I like to think about it, instead of this is a regression, because it's not, because you're always moving forwards. I love to think about this like kids' sleep or improvement in your relationship as always moving to the next level. So if we look at the kids' sleep in the first year or even like up to 5 years old, and when they sleep well for a while and they stop and they wake up at night, instead of looking at it as they're regressing, I want to offer that they are actually moving on to the next level of their sleep training, because now at each stage they are introduced to a new circumstance in their life that is making it challenging for them to sleep. For example, right, the development of their brain is so dramatic in the first year of their life that each month, each week, each day, their brain is evolving so much that that will be the new circumstance for them to adjust to, and so they have to now apply their sleep skills to their life, but they have an extra challenge to it. So it's like this game that they have, and each level has new obstacles for them to overcome in order to achieve that result, like to pass that level. So, as when they start sitting up, now they have to be able to sleep with having developed that skill. So sometimes they might sit up during sleep at night, right? So that might wake them up. So now this baby has to learn how to sleep and, not sit up during sleep. Like that's like level 2, right? Level 3 might be, okay, now they'll learn to walk. And their brain is super excited about it and has developed all these new neural pathways. And now they have to sleep with having another new skill developed, right? So can you see how this is just like levels and levels of difficulty for them to learn to adjust to and sleep? And even now, as I'm talking, I'm realizing that as adults, we have to deal with that. As we go to university, we have to deal with learning to sleep with a roommate, like with a roommate in a room with us. Or we have to learn to sleep as we get a boyfriend or a husband, right? Like these are all new levels of difficulty that we have to adjust to, and we have to learn how to sleep with them. And as we get older, we have to learn how to, take care of our bodies so that we can sleep in a restful way, right? It's so amazing. Now my brain's all going down the sleep path, but going back to relationships, and as you've been listening to me and learning that your thoughts create your feelings, and that the other person in a relationship is not responsible for how you feel, your son or your husband or whoever, you might be having, changes in your life that are great changes. Like you're having success. You are able to separate other people's feelings from your own actions. You might be able to realize, like, when I do something, the reason the other person is upset is because of their thoughts, not because of what I did. And vice versa. You might, when you get upset when with something, you might be able to now realize and have awareness that, oh, it's not because of what they did or said, it's because of what I'm thinking, it's because of what I'm making that mean, right? Which it will have an effect on your life in such a great way that you are not now you're not reacting to your feelings, right? When you're upset, and you're not taking it out on other people, right? Not always, of course, because you're human, you're not a robot. But as you start to see this kind of develop and you have success in some areas with it, you might be getting used to it. And what also might happen is you will have moments where your habitual thinking kicks in from the rest of your life that you've had, and you are having what I would call a hiccup or a setback. For example, right, like you don't apply what I'm teaching here, and you get upset and you blame the other person. And what if that happens for a few times or even one time, you might have this, your brain interpreted as that you are going backwards or you're regressing. Just like a kid stops sleeping, he's regressed. You might think, oh my gosh, I'm regressing. I'm going backwards to square one. I am going to end up where before I had all this success. Okay, so if that's happening for you, then this is a podcast for you to listen to in this moment. If that's not happening for you, I encourage you to just, put it on a shelf and come back to if that does happen for you. And I want to suggest that happens for all of us in different areas in our life, in different, with weight loss and career and relationships and kind of exercise, right? We might have this idea, our brain mistakes the next level, the difficulty, the challenges of the next level as regression. And this is what I want to offer to you today, is that it's just an error, a thought error. Your brain's believing that you are going backwards, you're regressing in your progress, you are somehow getting worse at this skill that you're practicing. And in fact, you have just moved up to this next level of difficulty, doing the exact same thing you are practicing doing. So if you are working on your relationship with your son or your daughter or anyone in your life, at work or anywhere, and you have had some success, but you have had some hiccups now, and you are afraid that you are going backwards, that's not true. You have simply moved on to the next level of difficulty, right? So that could be that could look in so many different ways. So for example, if you've gotten really to a really good spot with your son and you have beautiful bedtimes and you understand him better and you have more patience and you're more supportive with him and he's responding in a really beautiful way, right? And you've kind of had this beautiful kind of little period where you are there where you want to be, and then all of a sudden he goes to the new grade and has to do all like new level of homework, right? Like this grade's homework, where you all of a sudden have to figure out, how do you fit into this? Do you jump in? Do you let him manage it himself? All of a sudden you have a new circumstance in your life that you are having new thoughts about. So you have to adjust to dealing with that, and you have to figure out, how do I want to show up for him? It could be, that you have a health diagnosis that you're dealing with for yourself. It could be that your son is now a year older and now he's going through some growth and hormones, and it could be completely unrelated to your son or you, and it could be the government change, or it could be anything that changes in your environment that actually makes it more challenging for you to achieve that balance. And when I say it makes it more challenging, is the thoughts you have about it make it more challenging, right? So don't misunderstand when I say that. I do mean the thoughts, right? Because the same circumstance might happen and you might not have the same reaction to it, and so it will not make it more challenging for you to communicate with your and love your people, right? So whatever thoughts you're having, whatever triggers them, it doesn't really matter. It's just if you find yourself struggling to achieve what you already thought that you were good at, next level. This is when I always say next level, because it feels like you don't know what you're doing. It feels like you have forgotten how to do this thing that you already knew how to do, right? So and when you reframe it, when you like stop believing this idea that you're regressing, going backwards, what happens is you go from being frozen and scared and frustrated and really not really moving forwards when you're doing that, and not, loving the people around you. Then you're able to access better questions for yourself. For example, I wrote some of them down for you here. Is, what lesson is in this for me right now? Like, what do I need to be learning here at this next level? Right? What does the universe want me to practice here? Like, if I'm at this next level and I already got really good at seeing my thoughts, create my feelings at the last level, and now I have this extra difficulty challenge, right? How can I practice this here? What do I need to be practicing? Is it the same skill, or is it something else? Maybe it's allowing the 50-50 reality of our life. Do I need to practice that here, right? Look for what is the universe telling me that I need to lean into. And something you can remind yourself is, I am always moving forward. It is physically, mentally, time-wise not possible for me to ever be going backwards or regressing. It's just not possible. So I'm always moving forwards. And the question you can ask yourself, how is that true? How is this true that I am moving forwards? And let your brain answer the question, right? When you direct your brain in a useful direction, it will always deliver on the answer. So if going backwards or regressing is a myth, and it's not possible for me to ever do that, then it's okay for me to feel like I suck at this, what I'm doing right now, because I always feel like I suck at this at this next level. Like, right, imagine you're a kid playing a video game, and at each level, and they start out and they like literally die, right? They either crash with the car or they just use up their lives, right? So they have to restart the level again and again and again and again until they get so good at that level that they pass that level and go to the next level. The same thing is happening for you here. So of course, when you start the next level, each level, you feel like you suck at it. It's totally okay. It's totally understandable. And of course you're feeling this way. And I want to remind you of that. It's very important for us to remember that that's not true for us to go backwards, and to ask ourselves a better question. Okay, if I am moving forwards, then how am I moving forwards, and what do I need to practice at this level? What do I need to learn here? What is the lesson for me here? What is challenging for me here that is here to teach me something, right? I want you to really kind of be onto your brain about this, and remember this, you can't go backwards. And I am so excited for you guys to really start owning more of your thoughts and feelings, and really seeing how they transform your relationships, how you're less reactive to the people around you, how you're able to access love a lot more often, and you're able to accept people for who they are and see that your opinion about them is totally separate from the people that they are, which will ultimately allow you to just be a lot more loving with them and be more present with them and appreciate them for who they are and not make it mean anything about you. It's the best place to be. And just like one of my teachers says, I'm going to offer to you, out of all the feelings you could feel, love feels the best. So whatever we need to do to get there, do it. Next level, baby. Have a great week. Love you. Bye.